So the difference between the lines. The lucid line was a washed tobacco. So we take what we would normally use for Nor, and then we chop it up into a finer tobacco because we usually get a pretty big size. And then we chop it up, and then we would wash it. Hand wash all the tobacco. Squeeze out, and then squeeze out all the water, which takes forever. And when we cook it, it takes longer because there's extra water in it. Okay. When we're cooking it, we're trying to cook as much water out of it. But we still use the same basis as Nor, like the juice that we mix it with. We use the same one as Nor, but J-Line was, because it was washed, it was still stronger than most brands, but still, it was very, very weak. It was not very much nicotine to it. The flavor was slightly diluted because of the water, but it was a lot more stable because there was higher water content in it. It was just a little bit more stable. It's a little bit easier to smoke. That was a good entry point for most people that weren't used to smoking dark leaf tobacco. It was good way to enter. When Berkuk came around, we found, because what we learned was that the leaf of the tobacco, the closer you get to the end, the lower the nicotine is. And the closer you get to the back, to the stem, is where the higher nicotine is. So we sometimes will get different cuts. We'll blend them together to make, the right level of nicotine, depending on the crop year too, because crop year is huge. Depending on what crop we get in, just how well the tobacco leaf grows throughout the year. So when we learned about Berkuk, or when we learned more about the tobacco leaf, we found that we can make a lower nicotine tobacco with just the leaf, instead of having to wash the tobacco continuously. So that's how we came up with Berkuk. But the thing about Berkuk is that a lot of people kind of like, oh, it's a weaker tobacco, it's lower nicotine, I don't really care about it. But what they don't realize is that it's also a different sweetener. So different flavors come out in Berkuk. So like, let's say if you smoke, that's why there's certain flavors that only come in Berkuk. So like, let's say, why did we only put Burkina Sun in Berkuk? If we tried it in Nor, and the flavor didn't come out as fully because of the sweetener. It's just doesn't fully pop out. That's why when people don't smoke Berkuk, just because it's lower nicotine, they don't have it 100% right. For me, you smoke Berkuk because there's a different flavor to it. Certain things will pop out more. Cane Mint has a different flavor to it if you smoke it in Berkuk than if you smoked it in Burley or Nor. So if you're skipping over Berkuk, I think it's a really bad idea. You have to go back, try it out. It's like, I switch back and forth mostly because I'm so used to smoking Nor that after a while it doesn't taste the same anymore. Or it tastes, flat. So I'll switch over to Burley, I'll go back to Berkuk. I'll go back and forth just to make sure that my palate stays about the same. So Nor, then there's the Nor line, which is what everybody's used to, what most people know. A lot of people say that's where the jumping off point is, where a lot of people will start off at. Some people might think it's too strong, but it is definitely stronger than most other brands. Even our Berkuk line is still stronger than most other brands.
Yes.
Most washed brands.
But just to people understand, now Berkuk is not washed anymore, right?
No, Berkuk's not washed anymore. No, I always tell people going back to Berkuk, switching back and forth is good. Like, you definitely get a different taste from Berkuk, mostly because of just the sweetener that we use. But yeah, and then there's Nor. Nor is Nor. We've never changed, other than, different crop years. Sometimes we make a different blend just because, you have to prop it up just a little bit. Sometimes it's a little bit lower than we want it to be or a little bit higher than we want it to be. So we do a blend for Nor, just depending on the crop year. And then I find that a lot of cigar smokers already like our brand more just because there's a higher nicotine level or a nicotine or tobacco note to it. So they like the tobacco note in our tobacco.
Yeah.
And then F line is just Burley with caffeine. Yeah, which is fun. Sometimes early in the morning, that's exactly what you want. A little bit of caffeine, a little bit of nicotine, get your day started.
Yeah, makes sense. So, Fong, and about the symbols and about the colors, what do you know about that?
So, I don't know a lot because I came a little bit after when Eric started the company. But what I could deduce is that Eric is very math oriented. He has a very mathematic mind. The symbols are all geographic symbols, like you got triangle, circle. Those shapes and colors pleases him. Like, it's just something that he liked, so he just came up with those. But other than that, I'm not really sure. It's just something that it came in Eric's mind. Eric will always ask us what do you think? And then we're like, sure, don't know. It's whatever you feel like, buddy. And then he's like, Yeah, I like that. And then he just does it. So that's just how Eric works.
Okay, guys, thank you so much, Phone. What do you think too? Go
Oh yeah, sure.
on the back
Yeah.
to talk there in production, because makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.